There's never a bad time to take stock of your comic collection and make sure your DC library is complete. These are our top 10 DC books every true fan needs.
We're kicking things off with the instant classic DC Universe Rebirth, which marked a major turning point for DC. This story reinvigorated the entire publishing line and led to record-breaking sales. Written by the incomparable Geoff Johns and illustrated by some of DC's most accomplished artists, DC Universe Rebirth deserves a prime spot on every fan's bookshelf.
Next up is Green Lantern Rebirth, which saw Hal Jordan triumphantly return to the spotlight where he belongs. The story debuted the emotional spectrum and cleverly introduced the idea that Parallax was a fear entity that once controlled Hal. It's a definitive story about the importance of overcoming fear, and it'll make you a Green Lantern fan forever.
Number 8 is Preacher Book 1, which stars the foul-mouthed, hard-drinking, gunslinging man of the cloth, Jesse Custer. Jesse embarks on a journey to track down God, who has abandoned heaven, and along the way he meets an unforgettable cast of supporting characters. Equal parts humor and extreme violence, Preacher is one of the most iconic Vertigo series ever published.
You don't know Wonder Woman unless you've read George Perez's run, which was so popular that Perez's initial 6-month commitment on the book turned into 5 years. The series positioned Diana as a feminist icon, enriching her background and redefining her origin post-Crisis on Infinite Earths. Wonder Woman by George Perez Volume 1 will make you fall in love with Wonder Woman all over again.
Batman: The Long Halloween is widely regarded as one of the Dark Knight's greatest adventures, and it nabs our number 6. The story follows a fresh-faced Bruce over the course of a year as he tracks a serial killer who murders people once a month on holidays. The Long Halloween is a brilliant murder mystery with breathtaking art, and it's essential reading for every comic book fan.
Some might call DC the New Frontier Darwin Cook's magnum opus, and you won't hear any disagreement from us. New Frontier merges the golden and silver ages of comics and tackles the complexity of the superhero paradox against a Cold War backdrop. If you want a graphic novel that puts the best things about comics in one story, look no further than DC The New Frontier.
What can we say about the Sandman that hasn't already been written in the Book of Destiny? The mythical series follows Morpheus as he atones for the past and rebuilds his kingdom, the Dreaming. Neil Gaiman's masterpiece engrossed a generation of comic readers, and The Sandman became one of the first graphic novels to ever reach the New York Times bestseller list. If you haven't read it, do yourself a favor and clear your weekend so you can dive in right now.
Anyone who knows anything about comics knows Batman: The Killing Joke. Almost 30 years after its original release, it continues to be one of DC's most popular graphic novels year in and year out. Many consider it the defining Joker story, and the dark, twisted tale tests the limits of sanity while showing what makes Batman the ultimate hero. The Killing Joke is a graphic novel you cannot forget.
There is no conversation about great graphic novels without Watchmen, our number 2. It follows a group of superheroes that are pulled out of retirement after their teammate is murdered and sees them deteriorate alongside the fabric of American society as the U.S. creeps towards World War III. The genius of Watchmen is unfathomable, and the book is one of the landmark graphic novels in the history of comics.
And finally, the number 1 DC book every true fan needs is All-Star Superman. The series explores what the Man of Steel would do if he were given 1 year to live, and the result is at once harrowing, heartfelt, and heroic. Underneath it all pulses the essence of Superman that makes him the most enduring hero of all time: hope. In the grand scheme of comics, All-Star Superman is timeless, vital, and a masterclass in first-rate superhero storytelling.